Aloha y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Steph and I am the Socially Awkward Chef. So what's cooking today is more of a template rather than a recipe because we're about to repurpose our leftovers into fried rice. So to start, leftover rice, what I did was I just broke it up into manageable pieces with my hands. It's totally fine, get in there. It's much easier to break up before you get it into the pan, so it's a little bit more fluffy, okay? So I'm just gonna put that off to the side. And then next, we had Korean food. What a great way to make fried rice out of that. So we've got some leftover banchan. We're gonna chop up some of it and we're gonna add it to our fried rice. And then you can see we've got some mandu, we've got bulgogi, we've got chicken, meat jun, and then some sauce. We're going to use all of this up. And it's fine if you don't have Korean food. You can really make fried rice with so many different things. And again, this is just a template. Let me move that back here. So this is what we had left over in the fridge. So use what you got, what you like. We had some sugar snap peas, some snow peas. Wanted to make it a little bit spicy, so we've got some serrano pepper, chopped up some garlic, just because garlic is awesome. We had Napa cabbage. We've got a little bit of red bell pepper and some green onions. So you can see I've already got these washed and chopped up. So the next thing that we're going to do is chop up our meat and our banchan. We've got some of our leftovers chopped up. We didn't use everything because you can see this is a pretty full plate. So we're just going to serve up our leftovers alongside the fried rice. So we ended up using some of our bulgogi. We've got mandu, meat jun, which is a Hawaii thing, and it's so delicious. We've got some choy sum. We've got some chopped kimchi, and some of the dipping sauce for the meat jun and mandu. So we're going to use all of this up along with our veg. So next up, cooking. Alrighty, so we've got our frying pan on medium-high heat. We're going to add in about a tablespoon of oil. Whatever you've got on hand is fine. So we're going to start with the veggies. So we've got our Napa going in. Okay, and I'm going to actually add our sugar snap peas because they take a minute to cook as well. Just going to give this a toss. And we're just going to let that cook for about 30 seconds or so before we add in our next ingredients. So like I was saying earlier, this is what we had for dinner last night. So Korean food is what we're working with. You can do it with Chinese food, Thai. If you've got leftover steak, you kind of get the idea. You can use frozen vegetables. It's just the whole point is to use what you got. I'm going to give this another couple of turns in there. And we didn't add our garlic and our serranos yet because I don't want the garlic to burn. So we're going to add our veggies so it kind of lowers that heat a little bit, and then we're going to add this in so we get all the flavor without burning it. We're just going to give it a little bit more time, so I'm going to shut up and you can enjoy the cooking sounds. All right, so next we're gonna do our snow peas, our red bell pepper, and now we're gonna add in garlic and serrano. Oops, get back in the pan. Give this a toss. I'm going to add just a pinch of salt. Oops, sorry. Okay. Just going to let that cook for just a little bit, and then I'm going to remove it from the heat so we can start cooking our rice. Okay, I'm going to take this off the heat so I can remove my veggies, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to start working on the rice. Okay, so now pan is still hot. We haven't changed the temperature or anything. We're going to add, that was about 1.5 tablespoons of oil. Just going to let that coat the pan and heat up. You may need to add more oil just because the rice does tend to absorb it. No worries. We'll just take it as it comes. So next we're going to add our rice. And again, I went ahead and I broke it up with my hands before using this rather than dumping in a solid brick of rice and then using a spatula to break it down, because sometimes that makes the rice really mushy. Not always fun to eat. Okay. We're just going to keep this rice moving. We do want to distribute that oil throughout the rice. Okay. And if some rice goes jumping out of the pan, it's all good. Okay, just gonna let that warm up a little bit. I do try and add oil in doses just because I don't want to make it too greasy and add more fat than you really need it to be. So we're gonna let this hang out for just a little bit, and then we're gonna come back and add our meats and then our veg. All right, so it's been about a minute. So next I'm going to add our leftover meats and veg. Okay. So we don't have to cook this all the way through because our ingredients are already cooked. So we definitely want to warm it through, but you don't want to cook it to shit. So let's give this maybe about 45 seconds, and then I'm going to add back my veg, and then we're going to add that leftover dipping sauce as one of our seasoning components. So now it's been 30 to 45 seconds, thereabouts. And I'm going to add in my veg. I did not forget about the green onions. You want to add that towards the end so they don't get too wilted. So we're just going to chuck that back in. And then we're also going to add that meat jun dipping sauce. Love the sizzle. I'm just turning everything over so everything is getting some contact and heat on the bottom. We're mixing up our sauce so everything is getting some flavor. Oops, that's all right. So now that everything is relatively mixed, I'm just going to let it hang out here and resist the urge to touch it for about, I'd say, a minute. I'm just going to give it a turn, and you can see that it's starting to get nice and crispy on the bottom. If you'd like more crispies, you can let it hang out, but I am hungry, so I'm going to plate this up and eat. First, let me turn off the heat. And this is a great source, again, of using up what you got in the fridge. We've got some good veggies. Did not add any extra oil. And we repurposed some leftovers. So there you have it. Fried rice with leftovers. Enjoy!